All right, we are live at Otey's in Homewood, the Edgewood location of Otey's. He's Lance Taylor. I'm Ryan Brown. Thank you for joining us online, and thank you to our friends at Company Distilling for being here, Lance. We got a Company Distilling tasting right now.
Yeah, we do. We've got the maple and the apple variations out here. So excited about this product we've been talking about for, I don't know, 6-8 months now. It is obviously available in Alabama, other states throughout the country. If you are out there and you're listening in a random state and you don't know if they got it, go to your local package store, ABC store, ask for it by name. If they don't have it, tell them to get it. We go to companydistilling.com/Alabama for more details. And I just got me a neat variation of the maple.
Oh yeah, that's the one that I like the most. Is the maple.
No, just this on the nose. You can.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, my first meal after the colonoscopy yesterday was a waffle.
A waffle?
Yeah, with like really, really good syrup.
Yeah.
And you've got that syrupy on the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells good. I like the smell of it for sure.
I can get you one.
Yeah. I'll take one.
We're going to get my buddy Scott up here in a minute, and he's going to
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about what is Company Distilling, what it's all about.
Yeah, one of the maple.
And he is going to go get you one right now.
Good.
So this is perfect, though, for playoffs.
Right.
For all of the college football playoffs, for NFL action, like sitting on the couch. I got to be honest. I am too soft to get into the bourbon on Sunday. Now, as soon as I say this, me and Aaron Suttles are doing a Bama and bourbon at 8:15 in the morning.
That's going to be heavy.
So I will be drinking bourbon again at 8:15 tomorrow. But I typically don't have it on Sundays. But imagine just sitting on your couch watching a game like in Chicago or Cleveland where it's 10 degrees and snowing.
Right.
It's just a perfect cold weather drink. Although I like my bourbon year round. Most people are seasonal.
Yeah, I mean, so when you say seasonal, a lot of people don't. They're bourbon in cold weather.
Yeah, a lot of people will, drink the clearer spirits during spring and summer, and they'll wait until the leaves start changing a little bit. But I am one of those. I've been conditioned that bourbon is kind of my go-through at 365 days a year.
Yeah, mine's on. I got some on the rocks here.
Yeah. Cheers.
Yeah. So this is the maple.
That is the maple. And we've got some people that came by, and we were hoping that the master distiller Jeff Arnett would be here. We are going to set up another event down the road with Jeff Arnett. We did something with him in Tuscaloosa, Gillettes, before the Wisconsin-Alabama game. Great guy, living in Nashville. Couldn't make it down today. But we do have our buddy Scott from Company Distilling here. He's got T-shirts, and we've got the merch we'll be giving out for the next hour or so. So if you're in the area, drop by and see us here at Otey's Tavern, where you can enjoy that incredible food Rodney Davis has been serving up almost 4 decades now.
Yep, Dunaway off celebrating his birthday. Hunter asking in the chat, where's the birthday boy celebrating his birthday? All right, here's a question. I don't know the answer to this. Jay Will says, what's the age statement on that bottle? Do you know what that means? Okay, it's about a 5 or 6 year old. There's no age statement on the bottle, but about a 5 or 6 year old.
And that is, I mean, the distillery process, how long it's in the barrels. Yeah.
And maple's tasty, man.
Yeah,
that is good. That goes down smooth.
It really is. And, for a lot of people that, I think there's people out there when something becomes trendy, people want to get on board with it. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But bourbon has gotten so popular, the category of bourbon. And there's so many bourbon collectors. And I had an opportunity. First time I've ever been to Suttle's house. And he's got like a really cool bourbon display that they built in his living room.
Yeah, boy, he's walked away with a lot of it from our place.
Yeah, and I've got a ton too. Now I think I might drink a little bit more than he does on the bourbon, but he knows the ins and outs of it. My point was going to be for a lot of people that want to get involved in the category of bourbon, like they don't necessarily love the taste,
right?
But it is one of those that, I mean, the first time you had it, you were probably like, "The hell is this?" But
yeah.
Once you start to get the palate refined.
Right. I'm not going to pretend I'm the most sophisticated, but I can taste the maple in this. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah,
like you
100%.
can taste it. I mean, you definitely smell it, but you can also taste it in this. This is really, really good.
And the price point's great. Right now, you go to your local package store, $39.99. Look, I mean, there's some bourbons out there that are every bit of $100+, and a lot of people are like, you get what you pay for. I mean, a lot of times that is true, and there are some really, really good high-end bourbons, but if you're just looking for a really good price point bourbon, Company Distilling, perfect to pick up a bottle of this, take it to a holiday party, stocking stuffer, for whoever the bourbon lover is in your life.
Yeah. Jeff asked the question, and we'll answer your questions as we go here. Hey, Brown, your thoughts on Tua's benching and what's next for him? Yeah, I mean, retirement is somebody's. I don't know that he's going to retire. You know, he did a news conference today, Tua did, and he said, it's out of my control, which I kind of pushed back on that. It's 100% in your control. Play better and you don't get benched, right? I don't think that's what he meant. I think he meant like the front office is going to make that decision. The coaches, Mike McDaniel is going to make that decision. I think even if Tua had a good year, now if he had a good year, you're probably not in this situation. But with Miami officially eliminated from the playoffs, why continue to play a guy that has had near career-ending injuries already, right? You've got nothing to gain from that. You know what you have at Tua. It's not like something you got to evaluate. You got 5 years to Tua. You know what you got. So you don't have to continue to play him to evaluate him. So I think it's the right call to bench him. Plus, he struggled. And you may as well, with live bullets, see what you got in Quinn Ewers. I mean, that was a 7th-round draft pick. It's not like you got a ton invested in that, but heck, maybe Quinn Ewers surprises you and you think, okay, you've got something you can build around with him.
Man, Quinn Ewers at times, we saw it against Alabama and Tuscaloosa a couple of years ago against Arizona State in the college football playoff. He was very inconsistent, but some of the throws he makes when he is on are NFL big time throws.
Right.
And, he's got some of those intangibles.
Yep.
So I'm interested to see how he plays down the stretch in these final 3 games. I'll say this for Tua. I think in the right system, and this is for a lot of quarterbacks out there, Sam Darnold, when he went to play for Kevin O'Connell, revived his career in Minnesota.
Right.
And now Sam Darnold with Seattle, biggest regular season game in the history of the NFL tomorrow night, by the way, with Seattle hosting the Rams.
History of the NFL in the regular season.
Maybe for me.
Okay.
But, his career's been totally revived because he went to a really, really good system, rebuilt that confidence, and now with Seattle, he's got a great defense. They run the football effectively. Like, I don't know if J.J. McCarthy's gonna work out. First year as a starting quarterback, he's had his ups and downs. He's been hurt again this year. But if he didn't work out, I think Minnesota would be a perfect spot for Tua. There are some good marriages. I think a guy like Sean McVay would look at Tua and be like, that's a quarterback that would work for us. I wouldn't want the fact just – and
because of the injuries. Yeah,
because of the injuries. You just can't – and again, I love Joe Burrow as much as any quarterback in the league, but – I don't know if I want Joe Burrow as my guy because you can't count on him for 17 games.
Yeah, it's a tough spot. Tua has stayed hurt. He doesn't have the arm strength he once had. I think his hip is part of that. His hip has stayed injured, so he can't drive the ball down the field the way he once did. There might be some good spots for Tua. I don't know. I don't know what his future is in Miami. I mean, I would say it's very much up in the air. He was not able to answer that in his news conference today. So I think this benching is beyond just right now. I think Miami is genuinely trying to evaluate where they are with him. They're in a bad spot financially with him. If you just cut him, you have committed a ton of money to Tua.
Yeah.
And I don't know how tradable the guy is either.
And you know this, and really when you guys were going down where you could have taken a 3-0 or 7-0 lead on Monday night against the Steelers, he threw an awful pick.
Yeah.
And that was his 15th of the year. And that, I don't know, it just seemed to kind of throw everything out of rhythm. And then, the Steelers went on and took control of that game. But if Miami wins that game, which would have been 6 of 7 or 7 of 8,
yeah,
Tua's still playing.
He's still playing because you're still in the playoff fight. Yeah, and at that point, you've still got to beat the Bengals. You still got to beat the Buccaneers. You still got to beat the Patriots. They can't lose any of those. So listen, them making the playoffs it's a highly unlikely scenario. There's no doubt about it.
But the good thing about making the playoffs, like you make the playoffs in the NFC, and I was trying to explain this to a buddy today on how important this game is tomorrow night.
Yeah.
If the Rams win the game, the division is pretty much over, and the 1 seed is almost pretty much over. They've got a 90% chance to get into 1 seed. If they lose that, they've only got a 25% chance of winning the division.
Right.
So at that point, you go from a 1 to a 5 seed. And in the NFC,
crazy, man.
That's nearly impossible.
Yeah.
You've got to play on the road all the way to get to a Super Bowl. In the AFC this year, I think anybody, we talk about Tua in cold weather, and that hasn't been good.
The whole Dolphins in cold weather, but Tua, yeah.
Legitimately, almost any of the 7 teams that get into that, I know people will say if Pittsburgh gets in, they've got no shot. But the AFC is so wide open, and everybody is so inconsistent in that conference. I think everybody's got a shot, but I'm almost to the point now, it's like whoever gets the 1 seed in the NFC is going to win.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Whoever gets the 1 seed,
Like
they're
going
going to have
San
home
Fran,
field.
I don't think San Fran would be that tough on the road.
Yeah.
But if you had to go to Green Bay, if you had to go to Philly, if you have to go to Seattle, if you have to go to LA, that's fine. But if you have to go to one of those 3 cold weather, loud cities, that is difficult.
The thing about LA is you get to play indoors, which is huge. And you know this as a Rams fan. If you played the Packers, say in the NFC Championship game in LA, there'll be as many Packers fans.
50-50.
Yeah.
Eagles 50-50.
Yeah, you go to Seattle, and that's going to be a tough place to play.
95% Seattle fans.
Yeah.
And it's one of the loudest, the way they built Lumen Field.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you're up there and you're in the last week of January, it could be 27 degrees and sleep.
Yeah. So you're right. Getting that 1 seed in the NFC is going to be massive. We've had some new people come in and some new people watching us. So let's talk again about Company Distilling, which is why we're here tonight at Otey.
It's such a great product. And, you know, it's semi-new to Alabama just in this last year, and they've become a really good partner with us here at the next round, and we love our bourbon. And Jeff Arnett is the master distiller behind this product, and he was a master distiller behind Jack Daniels for 2 decades. Great guy, great product. If you're looking for a perfect stocking stuffer, if you're heading to one of these holiday parties, talked to somebody today that said they've got a dinner/holiday party every night until Christmas Eve.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah. And so, like, if you've got to take this, again, the price point's great. $40, pick up a couple of these bottles, take them everywhere. The bourbon/whiskey lover in your life is going to love Company Distilling.
All right, we got some questions about Bama and Oklahoma. So let's get to those questions, all right?
Let's do it.
Here is the first one. How big is LT Overton not playing in the game? He had a big game against Oklahoma the first time. It's interesting, you know, the first time Alabama played Oklahoma, R. Mason Thomas, who is their best defender overall, is out of the game. I don't know if I would say LT Overton is absolutely Alabama's best defender, but he's one of them.
Yeah.
And he's out of the game.
We talked about NIL valuation and, like, who would be the highest paid player if you just based it on performance.
Right.
And LT Overton is one of 7 or 8 names that we did throw out there. I mean, it's big. Look, this is a situation you're going on a road, and we brought this up earlier today. This is the 5th playoff appearance for Oklahoma. They are 0-4 in the playoffs, and I know it's a step in the right direction for Brent Venables. Year 2 in the SEC, they're in the college football playoff. Texas isn't, but Oklahoma fans, much like Alabama fans, very passionate and proud of their brand. It's one of the 3 winningest programs in all of college football. The expectation is we're at home, we should win this game. We've already beaten Alabama earlier this year, but man, it's all hands on deck because Alabama's defense, and I don't know the last time you can say this, the early Saban days,
Right.
Alabama's defense is what is winning them games right now. If they're going to make any kind of run in this college football playoff bracket, it's going to be because of the defense. And LT Overton is one of the 3 or 4 best players on that defense. I'm
just going to do this on the fly. We'll get back to Alabama and Oklahoma, but I just wanted to get your reaction to this. It's another first-round game we're going to talk about. Pete Thamel reporting that sources tell him A&M tailback Le'Veon Moss will be listed as questionable leading up to the game. He's missed the final 6 games with an ankle injury. But it has returned to practice. How big would it be for them to get Le'Veon Moss back?
I mean, Le'Veon Moss, you know, coming into the season, I think he was first-team All-SEC. I forgot who that other back was with him. Might have been Nate Frazier. Anyway, Le'Veon Moss, hell of a player. But A&M's found a way to get it done without Le'Veon Moss.
Yeah.
And you know, A&M for the first time, when you look at what Concepcion is being able to do and Mario Craver – and Marcel Reed. I mean, they've got weapons, so it's just another weapon to that repertoire.
Yeah.
A&M's fascinating to me because, you know, you said today you believe they might be the most overrated team.
I just, you know, they played a very favorable SEC
Yeah, and
schedule.
I'm not discounting that at all because we saw when they played a Texas team that was really peaking at the right time, they got handled against Texas.
That's right.
I don't know where Texas A&M is, you know, the confidence right now, but man, Kyle Field, that atmosphere will be probably of the first rounds. Like, Austin will be great, but they were in the college football playoff last year. Oklahoma will be wild, but they've been there for this is the 5th time. I mean, this is the first time ever for Texas A&M. And I've never been to Kyle Field. I don't think you've ever been there.
I've never been. Heard it's a tough place to play.
That atmosphere is going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy atmosphere. So, interesting news for Texas A&M and Le'Veon Moss. So we'll see if that continues to develop. Question from Hunter. How concerned should Alabama fans be about the thought of moving to a smaller offensive line apparently the ideal size, 6'4" to 6'6", 285, 325. I don't think you convert on 3rd and 2 on the ground with that. I think he's referencing that that's kind of the build of the offensive lineman that Kalen DeBoer likes. And you wonder, will that work in the SEC?
Well, we'll see. You know, you go back in the Pac-12, and it was one of the best offenses in college football. Again, it was in the Pac-12, but they won 11 games in the regular season. They won the Pac-12 championship. They won a game in the college football playoff. And more importantly, not only did you have a Heisman finalist with Michael Penix at quarterback, you had a 1,200-yard rusher in Dylan Johnson. So Parker Brailsford is kind of the model. Look, and the center is always, you know, smaller than, you know, both your guards and both your tackles. But Parker Brailsford is an undersized center, and you see the success he's still had. And he's been banged up as hell, but the success he's had in the SEC, hey, only time will tell. But, you know, you got to trust that Kalen DeBoer has had 2 years now in the SEC. You know, he probably knows what will and what won't work.
You'd have to think, right? I mean, he's seen it firsthand, as you said. Landmine Believer says the winner of the game Friday will play for the national title, Alabama or Oklahoma. I do like the path that the winner of Friday's game has. Maybe I'm just sleeping on Indiana. I know you're an Indiana respecter, but even you, as an Indiana respecter, I think would have to admit, if I've got my choice of playing Indiana or Georgia, Ohio State, I'd rather play Indiana.
Yeah. I mean, again, Indiana is taking these steps. This is a program that had never won 10-plus games until last year. So Cignetti's first year. By the way, we didn't even bring this up on the show today. Back-to-back AP National Coach of the Year for Kirk Cignetti. That's hard to do.
Well, Clark Lee went back-to-back SEC Coach of the Year, which I thought was hard to do. But to go back-to-back National Coach of the Year, that is impressive.
Yeah, because the only way you can actually do that is to have a better season. And to have a better season than 11 wins and getting to a college football playoff for Indiana was almost impossible. Now they're undefeated, and they're the 1 seed. But I do think the stage gets bigger and bigger. Like, their first big accomplishment last year was winning double-digit games, getting to a college football playoff. This year it was going on the road, showing they could beat a top 10 team. They did that back in late September, early October against Oregon and Austin. And then it was massive stage, playing for the 1 seed against the ultimate barometer in their conference, Ohio State, and they were able to win that game. Well, now they're in the Rose Bowl. This is a place they've never been before, and I think Indiana fans, it's not like they're playing with house money, but Indiana fans, I think, are like, damn, what a season. We've got the Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. We're in the Rose Bowl. We're undefeated. We're number 1. What's next? And they've never been on this stage before. Kalen DeBoer's been on this stage. Some of these Alabama players have been on this stage in this game. I think Alabama would go in as probably a 4.5 to 5-point underdog. I think the public would be all over Indiana. You know how that typically works out.
I know how you like that.
And then if you are able to win that game against a team that has been sitting home for the last couple of weeks, reading how good they are, then you get the winner of Oregon and Texas Tech, which I believe right now is going to be Texas Tech. And they've never been on that stage. So I don't necessarily disagree with that. The problem is both Oklahoma and Alabama, how broken the offenses look right now. And some of the dominant defenses, and whether it's Indiana, Texas Tech, or Oregon, those are all top 7, 8 defenses. They're all dominant defenses. So, you know, I mean, we're going to see some rock fights, I think, in this in this college football playoff coming up.
But on that half of the draw, if you get past Oklahoma, if you're Alabama, let's talk about Alabama. Oklahoma, the same thing, obviously. If you get past, you get Indiana, and then as you said, you get the winner of Oregon, Texas Tech. The other side of the draw, you would have gotten Ohio State and Georgia. Like, I'd much rather play Indiana and either Oregon, Texas Tech than I would Ohio State than Georgia. I can't imagine having to play Ohio State and Georgia in back-to-back games. So take Ole Miss. Like, Ole Miss is going to beat Tulane. Then they got to beat Georgia. Then they got to beat Ohio State. Good luck.
Yeah,
I mean, who's going to do that?
And then you still got to play somebody in the national championship.
Yeah.
So to me, going back,
I mean, that'll be your easiest game is getting to the national championship.
Right.
Yeah.
Going back to the NFL model, this is top half of the bracket where Alabama and Oklahoma are. That is the AFC.
That's right.
Bottom half of the bracket
NFC,
where Ohio State and Georgia are. That's the NFC.
Yeah. You may need an NFC team to survive all of that. Let's go to tough as nails. Do you think, Lance, Alabama will have 350 yards offense in this game? They had 400 some odd.
Yeah, 402.
402 in the first game.
Now, we brought this up today on the next round. Alabama is coming off back-to-back sub-300-yard offensive games for the first time since 2007, Nick Saban's first year. Like, what are the chances you go – and this is – I don't know if Georgia's defense is better than Oklahoma. I don't know if Oklahoma's defense is better. They're both better, a little bit better than Auburn's defense.
Right,
All
right.
really good defenses. But what are the chances Bama could go 3 consecutive games under 300 yards? That is hard to do. So I would actually go over that number.
That's good. I mean, if they're over 320, because Oklahoma only gained 200 in the first game. Now, Mateer looks healthier, though. You weren't with us. I thought it was interesting. You weren't with us Tuesday. Dusty Dvorak came on. Dunaway asked him about Mateer's thumb. You know, he's now throwing without the brace or whatever on his arm. And Dusty said, I'm not convinced the thumb was the issue. I thought that was interesting. Dusty Dvorak.
So did he go any more into what he thought the issue was?
He thinks the issue is the reads. He's like, you go look at some of those interceptions. It's not because the ball came out wrong. It's because he read the wrong thing.
Well, I would say this, though, because he hurt the thumb against Auburn.
Right.
The competition before Auburn wasn't nearly as good as what you get in the SEC, but it did seem like the ball was popping out of his hand a little bit more. The spiral was a little tighter.
Right.
It's almost like post. This is such a bad comparison, but post thumb injury, it was almost what we saw with Phillip Rivers Sunday against Seattle.
Yep.
I mean, just some of the throws, they fluttered.
Yeah, that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and there was no zip at all on the football. I mean, Mateer has been – that's what's crazy. Mateer has been an utter disappointment, and they're in the college football playoff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, on the back of that defense and special teams, we should note.
Yeah.
Their special teams, they've got the Lou Groza Award winner at kicker. Tate Sandel's amazing.
Yeah.
So special teams and defense have gotten them to the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that's what's got to be another, like, really scary proposition for Alabama is, you know, we talk about the 3 phases. We always want to talk about the offense, defense. Somebody talks about special teams. And realistically, the pick 6 was massive in Tuscaloosa against Oklahoma. But special teams cost them the game. I mean, Salty missed, a 29-yard field goal. They had
a kick return that set up a field goal.
Yeah, I think it was like a 46-yard return. And then Ryan Williams had the fumble on the front.
Yeah, Alabama's special teams have been
disaster
the whole season. They've not just been bad. They've just not been not good. They've been a detriment to Alabama. They've been a deficit for Alabama. They get nothing on punt returns. Cole Adams is a fair catch every time.
Yep.
They've had a punt blocked against Georgia, which got Alabama in a hole they never dug out of. You go to the Oklahoma loss on field goals. They didn't really contribute to the Florida State loss, but special teams have not just been not good for Alabama. They've actually been a detriment for Alabama. And they are what they are. You're not going to fix that overnight by any stretch.
Yeah, but, you know, if you're relying solely on your defense, you've got to have a tight special teams unit. The thing I would say, though, like Alabama's offense looks broken right now.
Yeah.
And I think Cuevas is big. Like, obviously.
Getting him back would be massive.
Yeah, we've talked about Jam Miller. He's going to be back in this game, and that's huge for Alabama. But, yeah, I think more importantly would be Cuevas. But this offense, we've seen this offense play really good football before. So, and I've said this a million times, this is a reset. It's a brand new season. And if you can somehow get the confidence back and you can get some of these guys healthy, you know, Ty Simpson can get in a rhythm.
Yeah. You happened to Ohio State last year. It's easy to forget this because of how dominant Ohio State was going through the playoffs. But their last regular season game was a complete offensive disaster in their home stadium.
Yeah, they had 10 points.
Yep.
They had 252 total yards, and they had 2 turnovers. So they go from that, and everybody, you know, the narrative was Ryan Day hosting Tennessee at home. If he loses this game, they're going to fire him. So he goes from on the hot seat to they go on this incredible run where they dominate, and Will Howard becomes kind of this leader, and he got on a heater, and they win a national championship, and the rest is history. And I'm not saying that's going to happen with Alabama because, you know, going into, and I know we're going to do our brackets tomorrow in the next round, like last year when we did that, I still had Ohio State winning the national championship.
Right.
I ain't going to have Alabama win the national championship. So it seems a little far-fetched, but I do think Alabama can win a couple of games in this college football playoff.
We're going to talk about the other games that are coming up this weekend. Your reaction on this, though, I saw it before we went on Smuff. It says Makai Lemon, USC, entering the NFL draft. You've seen him in person when you went out to the Iowa game. This kid's a player.
Yeah, Makai Lemon is a do-it-all player. I've seen some mocks recently where he's a top 20 guy. And I think he's going to be, much like I said about, he's not as good as Drake London. And I said, like, Drake London is going to be the next great receiver. And he hadn't really gotten there because he hadn't had consistent quarterback play. Scott Forrester, our videographer, our resident Atlanta Falcon fan, he knows how good Drake London is. You talk to any Falcons fans, and they're like, this guy the numbers should be even better. But Makai Lemon is close. Makai Lemon is going to be an outstanding NFL player. Sucks for USC. Jaden Maeva, I'm very interested to see what he's going to do because I have seen mock drafts with Maeva with such a weak quarterback class going in the first round. So I'm hoping, he comes back for USC's sake. But it's a big loss, but I'm not surprised at all because Lemon is going to be a first-round guy.
Before we move on completely from Alabama, Oklahoma, Tyler asks this, what do you think will be the deciding factor in Friday's game? You hope it's not special teams because that would favor Oklahoma.
I hate to say this. I think it's going to be a combination of the offensive line holding up. They gave up 4 sacks last time out. Ty's been sacked 3+ times in his last 3 games. He has been awful under pressure. The last 2 games against both Auburn and Georgia, he's only completing 30% of his passes under pressure.
Yeah.
So offensive line's got to hold up, but at the same time, Ty has got to play with the confidence he played earlier this season. This is a Ty Simpson game to me. They're not going to go out there and Daniel Hill and Jam Miller are going to miraculously be able to run the football against his defense. Ty is going to have to make incredible throws on the road to win this.
I think if you gave me turnover margin in this game, I could tell you who wins. I mean, if turnovers are 2-0, the nothing is going to win this game.
Oh, yeah, I would agree. I mean, you go back. I mean, if Alabama is +1 in turnovers, they probably win the game by 14+.
Yeah, you're talking about the first time?
Yeah, the first matchup.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, look, they were -3 and they lost, a 1-possession, 23-21 game. And I'll tell you this, Venables has never lost a game. I think he's 24-0 is Oklahoma's head coach when they give up less than 20 points a game. The offense, as good as this defense has been, the offense has got to show something for Alabama.
Yeah, we talked about the great Lenny Acuff, Sanford basketball coach.
I see that.
Getting some food. Before we talk about the next game, Texas A&M Miami, we'll talk a little bit more about that. Let's remind everyone while we're here with our friends from Company Distilling at Otey's.
Yeah, we're going to bring Scott up here in a couple of minutes, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about this product, if he can talk, because he's been drinking a lot of it. It is a great look. If you want to enjoy a whiskey that is as good as the company you keep, now is your moment with Company Distilling. It's available in a handful of states, including Alabama. Ask for it by name if they don't have it. Tell them to get it. You can go to CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama. Price point is fantastic, $39.99 a bottle. It's a great Christmas gift. So pick up a bottle today. Maple, apple, the regular, fantastic product.
Yeah, so we'll be here at Otey's for about another 20 minutes. But Company Distilling will be in Otey's. So you can get it at Otey's, both locations, right?
Yeah, working on that right now.
Okay. $8 tonight?
$8 a pour tonight. And that's, that, again, price point, that's fantastic.
Yeah. All right, we'll talk more about that in a moment. Let's talk Texas A&M Miami. We talked about Le'Veon Moss. Miami has got 2 of the best interior defenders or up-front defenders in Bain and Mesidor that you see in all of college football. And you got to think that's going to play a role in this game. 2 really good defensive teams here.
The thing that scares you, and, I asked Joel Platt, Fox analyst who was on the show on Monday, I was like, if you are a Miami fan, what concerns you more, Mario Cristobal, your head coach, or Carson Beck?
You mean concerned in a bad way.
And he said both.
Yeah.
So I think Miami's defense has been very underrated. It's one of the most improved, if not the most improved unit in all of college football. I have seen Reuben Bain, he is locked into the top 5 in this mock draft, all mock drafts coming up. Some people believe that Reuben Bain, if it breaks right to a team that doesn't need a quarterback, could go number 1 overall. And then you look at the other side of it. Malachi Toney is probably, and you correct me if I'm wrong, the most explosive.
Good to see you, Coach. How you doing?
Good to see
Lenny
you.
Acoff, great Sanford coach. Merry Christmas, Coach. Good to see you.
The most explosive player in the college football playoff is Malachi Tony,
A freshman.
a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, that kid has been dynamite. And
So,
it started really in that Florida State game with his coming out party.
Yeah, I mean, look, Indiana is got two 1,000% NFL receivers led by Omar Cooper. They've got two really good backs, Roman Hemby and the black kid. They're very, very good. Ohio State, well, Jeremiah Smith. Let me pull that back. I would go Jeremiah Smith 1 and then Malachi Tony 2.
If you're just looking at receivers.
Cornell Tate's right there in that mix too.
Furman brought this up Friday. We didn't have a ton of time to get into it, but he said this may be a workout for Marcel Reed, that there are rumors Marcel Reed might be in the portal and might be headed to Miami. That one stunned me, really.
Yeah, I
Did you hear Furman bring that up?
I didn't.
Okay.
I did.
I should have followed up.
Friday.
That was on this past Friday. I should have followed up.
Now, look, I know Miami's got a ton of money to spend, and obviously the way they've done their NIL is it has been quarterback focused, which, has put them in a good spot. Cam Ward actually won a ton of games for them last year. Their defense let them down. This year, Carson Beck has been good. Now, he cost them a game, but I don't know why.
Against Louisville. Yeah, five turnovers, right?
If Marcel Reed's only going to get, in my opinion, better. A&M's got as much or more money than Miami. Why would you leave
I don't know.
SEC?
I'll try to remember to ask Furman Friday to bring that back up because that was.
Go play for a lesser coach in a lesser conference. I mean, none of that
You
makes
love
sense.
Mike Elko, though.
I think Elko's a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Now, I can't imagine how much weight Elko puts on in the holiday season.
Lord have mercy.
Because
Everybody.
in September, he's side of a house.
I know.
But the guy can coach. Year 2 to have A&M somewhere they've never been before. Marcel Reed, I think we all still doubt him. But
Right.
if you go back to the game against Notre Dame, that final drive, and very controversial drive, but on the road in South Bend against that Notre Dame defense, he can play at a high level.
All right, let's talk about Tulane and Ole Miss. This was a regular season rematch, and the regular season game was a complete disaster for the Greenways.
It's one of those weird games where you had your leading passer and leading rusher, the same guy for both teams. Or Jake Retzloff was that guy for Tulane, and Trinidad Chambliss was that guy for Ole Miss.
Was that Chambliss' first action?
I think it was his first start.
Yeah.
And Chambliss was really good, over 300 passing yards, over 100 rushing yards. They had 528 total yards of offense. And it wasn't, like, if you look at 45-10, you're like, damn, how many times did they turn it over on the road in Oxford? They only turned it over one time.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, 1-to-1 turnover ratio. Both teams turned it over one time, but the Ole Miss offense couldn't be stopped. I still think that John Summerall did one of the best coaching jobs ever in the Group 5 to get this team
I agree.
to a college football playoff, because you look statistically, they're an average team. You look at this team play, they lost their two best players in the portal, and Mekhi Hughes and Darian Mensah.
Yeah.
And they're back with like average numbers, but they're getting better and better. And I think they've got a ton of confidence. And I just wonder where Ole Miss is right now internally with the whole Lane Kiffin soap opera we had for the last month.
Yeah, he has told us, John Summerall has all year long, that this is not a good team. Or let me back off. I've misquoted him. They're not playing well.
Yeah,
They're playing average
If
football.
we make a mistake here or there, we will not win a game. We're not good enough to win games making mistakes.
Right.
I mean, he hasn't necessarily four-mouthed them. I think he's just been very honest about this team. I think the Tulane team last year might have been better than this one, but this is a team that lost by 35 earlier this year to Ole Miss. They're getting 17 and a half in this spot. Again, they're playing with a ton of confidence, and you've got a guy that we talked about is basically coaching with two cell phones. He's got his University of Florida phone.
Right.
He's got his Tulane phone. And, I don't know about you. I'm not a great multitasker.
No.
Not many people
I like to
are.
focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah. But he has done an absolutely incredible job of transitioning out of that Group 5 into one of the biggest jobs in college football. And, he'll have them believe. And let's not forget, he was asked about this. If they somehow pulled off this upset, they go to the All-State Sugar Bowl. And they're playing in their own backyard.
Their own backyard, Against Georgia.
Against Georgia, which they would have absolutely no shot. But it would be a great story.
At least it's kind of a home game for you, a place where they used to play games, actually, in the Superdome.
Yeah, but what would that split be? Still going to be massive Georgia.
I would say 70-30 Georgia.
Yeah.
You think that's fair?
Yeah, that's fair.
The aspect for Ole Miss that is the unknown is Pete Golding. This is his first game as a head coach. This is a wild scenario where your first game as a head coach is in the college football playoff. I mean, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, I think if you're Pete Golding, you rely on what you've done all year defensively. And I do think Ole Miss, although I said today they might be the most overrated team, and there was that poll of the coaches that talked about they believe they were the most overrated. They're one of the most balanced teams, though, as far as you look at, a very, very solid defense and a very, very solid offense. But if you're Pete Golding, he can't overthink this. He can't do anything differently. Lane Kiffin brought that pizzazz and that flash offensively, but you lean on Charlie Weiss Jr., you let him call your plays, and defensively, don't overthink this.
Yeah. That's
do what you have done the entire year.
That's one thing me and Dunaway talked about yesterday is if you're Pete Golding, you stay out of Charlie Weiss's ear. You realize that Charlie Weiss, for the first time, is calling plays without Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
He's got enough going on. If you're Pete Golding, you don't need to be in his ear like, run it more, pass it more. What are we doing here? What are we doing? You got to.
I would agree.
It's almost. Jim made the example. It's almost like the NFL where you got a defensive staff and an offensive staff, and the head coach is probably a one or the other.
Yeah, really, the only time, in my opinion, Pete should ever step in with what Charlie is doing is we've got a 4th and 2. We're on the 38.
Go for it.
Yeah, we're going to go for it, or let's send out.
Yeah.
But I agree
the critical
with you.
decision.
Yeah, anything he wants to call, don't second guess it. Let it roll. You've got so much more talent than Tulane. I mean, this would be, and I know Kalen DeBoer taking on a 4th loss in back-to-back years. A lot of Alabama fans feel like that would be disastrous. Oregon losing to James Madison would be right there. But I cannot imagine Pete Golding. You've already named him your next coach. If you were to lose
to Tulane in the playoffs
on campus,
game,
as a 17.5-point favorite, it would be disastrous.
Yeah.
And, that's one of those things. If you're Tulane, if you're Summerall, let's keep it close. Let's keep it close. Let's get this into the second half.
Get them in pressure situations.
Yeah. And let's make one mistake, we can win this game, and they start thinking about this. Pete Golding starts thinking about this. That could be a problem.
Yeah, I mean, make Pete Golding make critical decisions. That's what you want to do for John Summerall. Make Pete Golding have to decide 4th and 3 from the 45. Am I doing it or not? Lane Kiffin goes for that all the time. If Pete Golding has to make those critical decisions, that's what you really want. Oregon, James Madison is the biggest point spread of the weekend. Still at 21.5, is that right?
21.5.
21.5. I mean, there's no path to victory. How can James Madison keep it close?
Alonzo Barnett, their quarterback's got to go off. And he is super talented. But the problem is this isn't your typical Oregon team. And when I say that, Oregon has always had solid defenses and, outlandish offense that is just so smooth and can score at will. And now it's kind of backwards. Sadiq, in my opinion, is the best offensive player for Oregon outside of Dante Moore. Kenyon Sadiq, their tight end. Malik Benson's kind of been their go-to, big play receiver. I think their offense can sputter. And if James Madison was to go out and Barnett was just to have a sensational game, which I just don't know if he can against this Oregon defense because I think they're really, really legitimate. But that would be the only way. And they'd have to be +3 in turnovers. I've never been to Alton. I don't think you have. I've heard how loud it is. I know those fans are going to be going crazy because they are starved, a team that has never won a national championship. I don't see a path to victory, but I mean, they can keep it within the 21.5.
You know what's crazy about this game? You've got James Madison head coach Bob Chesney, and probably, if I had to guess, a lot of his staff headed to UCLA. You've got Oregon offensive coordinator Will Stein, and probably part of the Oregon staff headed to Kentucky. Oregon defensive coordinator Tosh Lavoie, and probably part of his staff headed to Cal. I mean, Dan Lanning is the only meaningful coach in this game that's probably going to be at the same place he is right now next year.
Yeah,
that's wild to think about.
Yeah, and I guess this is year in, year out, but when, you expand to 12, there's more of these situations out there. But we have never seen this many head coaches and coordinators that are leaving their sitting positions in the college football playoff going other places next year.
Yeah.
Just how many of the head coaches do we have?
Well, you got John Summerall, and again, probably part of his staff.
Chesney.
Going to Florida. You got Chesney going to
Lane
UCLA.
Kiffin.
You got Lane Kiffin, who's already departed, but Charlie Weiss is going to call plays, but he's headed to LSU. You've got both coordinators at Oregon are headed out. I mean, Alabama is really the one. If you believe 100% what what Kalen DeBoer has said, that he's not going to Michigan. Alabama's probably the most stable coaching staff in this whole.
Yeah, Ohio
whole
State,
playoff.
Indiana, Alabama,
Yeah,
Georgia. I mean, I guess Glenn Schumann could still make a move. Right?
Yeah, he could probably. I would seem unlikely at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ohio State. Well, they're losing Heartline.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're losing Heartline to South Florida.
South Florida. It was
Yeah.
playing right now. Yeah.
Indiana, I don't think is losing anyone.
I don't think so.
Texas Tech. We talked about this earlier today. The 4C Texas Tech. Jim brought this up. The fact that they are already renegotiating contracts for Joey McGuire's staff. This billionaire has said, not only am I going to buy us into the playoffs, I'm going to make sure we've got our staff back next year. I'm not going to let anybody get out of here. I mean, it's a good time to be a Texas Tech Red Raider.
It is. And, the funny thing is I think it was Dunaway when we were doing our coaching rankings a couple of days ago. He's like, I don't even know the Texas Tech, Joey McGuire.
Yeah.
So how many people know who the coordinators are? I'm sorry, I just got a bad update on my phone.
Oh, no.
Freaking, according to Adam Schefter, the Rams team flight was supposed to be leaving.
It didn't crash.
No,
it didn't crash. Did not.
Expected to be significantly delayed because of equipment issues. Now, let's not
And y'all
forget.
play tomorrow night.
Yeah, they kick in like 27 hours.
Yeah.
Bad
update.
Yeah, not a good update.
Scott, you want to come up? All right, we're going to bring up. Why don't you tell everybody why we're here?
Yeah, we're here with our friends at Company Distilling.
Right.
We've been friends for 35 years now. My buddy Scott Banks, Fort Payne, Alabama, home of
Super Group Alabama.
Yeah. And Randy Owen. Who are the other guys?
Teddy,
Teddy Gentry,
R.I.P.
Jeff
Jeff Cook. Yeah, he passed away a few years ago.
Evan
But
McPherson.
Evan
Kicker for the
McPherson.
Bengals.
Yeah.
I've told the story before, though. So June Jam used to be like, you heard about June Jam. I don't know if you ever went.
I never went.
Let's turn this.
Sorry, don't blow our ears out.
Sorry. What are we doing? Here we go. I got you.
So I told this story, though. When we were freshmen, we were in the same pledge class. And you talked about this June Jam thing, and I had never heard about it because I'm not a country music guy. But it's like, for me, and you had like expense, and like at that point, anytime you had $50 to go out, but you had the credit card, we'd go out, we'd do sampling. That's what we're doing with Company Distilling. But from that journey, way back when you got out in 1995 to 30 years later, where you are with Company Distilling, tell us a little bit about the product. It's new, but Jeff Arnett, who you know well, the master distiller, the former master distiller at Jack Daniels. What's so good about this product compared to all the other spirits you've worked for?
We well, with Company, it's just it's a wheated bourbon. It's really light, and the wheat influence makes it a lighter. It's when you look at bourbon, it's kind of like bread. You've got different variations of bread and the ingredients they use. So when they use the wheat, it comes off as a lighter bourbon. Maker's Mark is a wheated bourbon. There's Weller wheated bourbons, but it's just really easy to drink. Look, Jeff can do this great. I mean, I know enough to be dangerous, but they also use woods that are indigenous to East Tennessee. Like they finish the maple off, or the bourbon off in maple wood, like chips. Like if you would smoke a whole hog, you throw some wood chips in there. So they finish the bourbon off in maple chips. They finish the Tennessee whiskey off in applewood chips. So those are the two that are available in Alabama. I think you mentioned it. They're at $39.99. And we've done a great job. We're sold out right now. Just landed. We got more product coming into the state. So thank you guys for buying us out. So we're moving the product now. But yeah, it's really a nice, easy bourbon to drink. We're at a great value price, $39.99. I know times are a little tough out there, so we made the move there. So we're gonna stay there for a while. And so it's a great bourbon to give for holidays.
So obviously we originated out of Birmingham. It's available in Alabama. You're in Colorado, in Denver. It's in Colorado. It's in South Carolina. It's in
in
Tennessee.
Oklahoma. So anybody flying out to the game, I can't. I was going to fly back tomorrow and then fly to the game. That's $1,000 from Denver to Oklahoma City. So
You ought to fly from here. We got a flight today.
Yeah,
from
Southwest added 2 directs from Birmingham.
Birmingham
and
to Oak City.
Birmingham to Oak City. I think the first leg was like $300.
all right, I might do that.
Yeah.
So, but Byron's Liquor, they have it there. So if you guys are in Oklahoma City, go by Byron's. Down in Moore, there's a couple of liquor stores that carry us. We're big in Oklahoma, but be safe going out there and roll tide. So, yeah,
We see the script A.
Yeah, we knew it. We knew it already.
I gotta mention it.
CompanyDistilling.com/Alabama. Again, great price point, great products here. Pick it up this holiday season.
And your boy Summerall loves it too.
Yeah.
Summerall loves it. We said Summerall some, and he's used it for his bourbon celebration.
And we're doing real well in Florida right now too.
All right.
ABC doing real well in Florida. So shout out to the ABC stores there. And I do want to mention this: if you're up in the Huntsville area, Windmill Beverages just picked it up, so they'll be carrying it as well. So
Okay.
Windmill Beverages
There you
up
go.
in the Huntsville, Decatur area.
Well,
All right.
we have loved the partnership. It's been fun, and let's keep it going in 2026.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, good to see you, Scott. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate Otey's hosting us as well. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for the next round. So wherever you're watching us, give us a thumbs up. Make sure you set your alerts so you know when we're live, and share us on social media. We appreciate you doing that. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 9.